Hey there, and welcome back to Paula's Kitchen Stories. I'm so grateful to have you here cooking with me today again. And today we're going to be cooking the viral 2-ingredient chocolate cake that you might have seen on TikTok or on Instagram. It's the sweet potato and raw cocoa powder super cake that is very, very easy to make. And we are going to be making a slight holiday twist to that cake. So I won't be keeping it down to 2 ingredients only. That's a small spoiler alert. But I will be adding some gingerbreads, some of the holiday spices, of course, and just a teeny tiny bit of pecans, because I love those nuts recently. First and foremost, a shout out to my friend who actually introduced me to that cake. So greetings to you, Diana. Diana brought me the cake a few months ago, got inspired by that, then started seeing the cake all over social media, and I love it. I love it because, why do I love it? I love it because it's very low on carbs, that's the first thing. Super healthy, but it's also sweet. It's not very sweet, so I will also give you 2 different options, how you can make it a bit sweeter, how you can make it not that sweet. That's the version that I will be making. What you will be needing? You will be needing a small cake tin. It's a 20 centimeter one. It has a loose bottom and sort of those beautiful edges. It will give you a very, very cute little cake. And you don't actually have to do anything with that form. So you don't have to add any butter here. You don't need a baking paper, nothing. You just need a small cake tin. You might also be using like the regular one that you open up if you don't have the one with these, I don't know how you call those things. The edges, what you see, it's kind of like a flower thingy. So you might be using that. Then you need 400 grams of sweet potato. I have one big boy over here, exactly 400 grams by the way. And then you're gonna need a peeler, you're gonna need a knife, a cutting board, some cardamom seeds, some nutmeg, pecans. You would be needing about 50 grams for the base and some for sprinkling on top, so aim for approximately 100 grams. And then you need 2 sheets of gelatin. I love to use the sheet version of gelatin because it's super easy to use. And then you need cold water. I have some cold water over here. And the first thing that we will be doing is putting the gelatin inside the cold water. So it has to soak before we can use it. And be mindful, you only always use the cold water because once you put the gelatin into warm water, well, it will just melt and you can't use it. So aim for cold water. So then, to kick off the cake, then we need to peel the sweet potato. I'm going to use a peeler for that. Just clean it up. Once it's peeled, you want to chop off the edges and then cut it into small pieces. I would say that's one of my favorite tips in the kitchen because when you want something to boil fast, just chop smaller pieces and aim for, I would say, 1 centimeter or a bit below 1 centimeter of chunks, something like that. So small ones. And we will be boiling them in hot water until they're really, really soft. So they have to be mushy, they have to go into a beautiful porridge type of thing or puree type of thing. So aim for small bits, don't have to be exactly the same size, but could or should be roughly the same size so they would boil evenly. Once you have chopped up the sweet potato, then you need a pot. Aim for a small size, something not too big, and just put all the little sweet potato bits in the pot. And add some water and then boil until it's nice and mushy and soft and you can blend it into a beautiful puree. Water in. We're gonna put that baby to boil and there's no precise time on how long to boil it, just boil it until a knife goes through very, very nice and smooth. Once they're boiled, just pour them through the sieve. I think it's called a sieve. And they have to be nice and soft so you see the knife goes through very, very easily. And now you can blend them into a beautiful puree. Toss the water, of course, and just keep the sweet potato parts. We're gonna put that into a food processor. You can also use a bigger blender if you have a Blendtec or something. I love to use a spatula for that. So just in. we need to add the raw cocoa powder, and I always use the raw cocoa powder, not the regular cocoa. And the difference is that the regular cocoa beans are roasted, but the raw cocoa ones are not. Therefore, all of the minerals and the vitamins are still in this powder, and they haven't been sort of killed due to the roasting process. And there are a lot of health benefits to raw cocoa, aside from rich in antioxidants, good for skin health, good for heart health, all of that. It's also rich in vitamin C, E, and B group vitamins, magnesium, iron, and the list goes on. And aside from everything else, of course, as we know, chocolate makes us happy. But why? It's because the raw cocoa powder and raw cocoa beans have this little nice ingredient that helps to promote dopamine production in the body, so it actually does make you happy. And we can officially call it a happy cake. But we would want to go for approximately 2 or 3 tablespoons of raw cocoa powder. And if you are using the regular cocoa, which is perfectly fine as well, then just add a bit more, because the raw cocoa powder has a slightly sweeter taste, a very mild and beautiful taste to it, and it's also a bit more intense than the regular cocoa, so you need to add a bit more of regular cocoa than with the raw cocoa powder. That goes in. I like to add a slight bit of coconut palm sugar to it as well, so you can skip it, you can add it, whatever you feel like. Coconut palm sugar adds a beautiful caramelized taste to it and makes the cake a bit sweeter, so we're going for 3 tablespoons of coconut palm sugar. Now we put the lid on and we blend until it's a beautiful, beautiful puree. And now we have this beautiful soft mixture of the sweet potato. We will remove the blade, just clean it with a spatula, get all of that goodness in, and you don't have to move the batter anywhere. So you just leave it inside the food processor. We will finish the cake off in the same dish or tin, or what do you call it? Anyway, we're gonna put that to my sink. So I'm gonna show you how it looks. It's very nice and soft, and basically now only sweet potato, raw cocoa, and coconut palm sugar inside. Now we need the gelatin. So we have soft, nice, soaked gelatin sheets, and we need a small pot. Get the smallest one you have, or you can use, I will show you how to do it with a bigger one. So we need the juice from half a lemon. I'm gonna cut that in half and just squeeze it, but squeeze it through your fingers so you don't get the seeds in. So basically you squeeze the lemon juice on your fingers and you slightly open up your fingers and let the juice pour into the pot. So yeah, there we go. Half juice from half a lemon in. You want to put it on the stove for just a teeny tiny bit. Let it cool, let it heat up, and there we go. So we're seeing small bubbles, and now it's time to turn off the stove and remove that from the heat, and we will start mixing in the gelatin. So, and once we have removed that from the heat, we will take the soaked gelatin sheets, and you want to squeeze the excess water, add it in, and you only stir and it will melt very easily, and there you have it. And then we want to add that into the food processor using a spatula, get all of that goodness in, just pour it in and mix it directly. You want to mix it fast, but don't stress too much, nothing will happen. So now quickly, I will just use the same spatula to mix it into a even dough. It will slightly make it a bit more wet. And there we go. We are ready. And then we would want to be adding in some of the holiday kick to it. Of course, we aim for spices. We go for nutmeg. One of my favorites goes in. And then cardamom seeds, the cleaned ones, in. I have the beautiful, gorgeous green ones over there. So, and then grind it with a mortar and pestle until you get a nice, even, soft powder. And once you're already working on that powder, you will start smelling the gorgeous spices, and all of that goodness will soon be inside your cake. We put all of that in here. It's about a teaspoon of ground cardamom, not ginger, and a little teeny tiny bit of nutmeg. I would say about a fifth of nutmeg. That should do the wonder with the cake and make it nice. So mix it in, and we now have the dough ready fully, and we're ready to assemble the cake. So easy. So for that, we take the small cake tin, that one. We're using then 50 grams of pecans and approximately 50 grams of gingerbreads. I have my own baked gingerbreads over here. You can check out the video for the gingerbread dough on my channel. Nice and crispy. Super yummy. And then we would be chopping up the gingerbreads and chopping up the pecans. And then we just go chop, 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 chop. One side and the other, and aim for small pieces. So in the end you would have that kind of a crumble. And originally the 2-ingredient cake does not have a base, but I like to add the base because the original recipe with only the sweet potato and raw cocoa, it's very sticky and it actually sticks to the cake tin, so it's kind of hard to serve, kind of hard to move. And to make life a bit easier, I like to add a little bit of crumble crunch and some base so we could move the cake from the cake tin onto a serving plate, and it would not break and look amazing. I will just add the crumble on the base. If you want to go for a sweeter version, if you have a sweet tooth, then you might blend the gingerbreads, you might blend the pecan nuts along with some soft medial dates. So just wash the dates, remove the stones from the middle, and add some of the dates. I would maybe opt for 40 to 50 grams of dates, and then blend them in a food processor all together, and you will get this beautiful sticky mixture that you can press for the base of your cake, and that will add a slight sweet kick to the cake also. But here we only have now the pecans and the gingerbreads as a crumble, and I would say that's about it. So we have that in, that's there. Now we add the cake mixture. So what did we put in here? We added 400 grams of boiled soft sweet potato and pureed that along with the raw cocoa powder of 3 tablespoons of coconut palm sugar, about a teaspoon of ground cardamom and slight bit of ground nutmeg. All of that went in, and then along with 2 gelatin sheets that we soaked in cold water and a bit of lemon juice, and just even that out, slightly moving along. The crumble and the base will move slightly, but if you're gentle and do it with love, you're gonna be all good. So it's like patting a kitty cat or something. Very soft, very gently. Just move the batter along the cake tin, and you will have that gorgeous cake and an occasional taste. That's lovely. So basically the sweetness from the sweet potato and the creaminess is matched here with the indulgent, I would say, indulgent and lovely flavor of the cocoa powder, super chocolatey, and then it has a slight fresh kick from the lemons underneath, and then the Christmas spices with the cardamom and the nutmeg. Oh, it's lovely. I like it. Cleaning the spatula, getting all of that in here. There we go. That goes in here, and just even it out. Again, you don't have to stress too much. Just making a cake for you and your friends, right? Yums. And to decor it, to make it beautiful, we're going to chop up some pecan nuts and going to put them around the cake and use some lemon zest and a bit of salt flakes. Chopping the pecans not very small, so you want to keep it crunchy. So let's keep it, let's say, a few millimeters times a few millimeters of bits of pecans. And now we're ready to decorate the cake. So the cake is over here, and I'm gonna be adding the chopped pecans around the sides. So we're gonna keep the middle part of the cake clean for visual appeal and for better design, and we're gonna just add a round of chopped pecans, a round of some good molten salt flakes, and a little bit of star anise, and maybe a bit of bits of this and that, and some lemon zest. Because lemon zest in its yellow color will sort of bring everything, it will lift everything visually and give it also that nice zesty touch. We have those chopped pecans over here, and we're gonna go round the cake. Round the cake. And we want to keep it about, let's say, 2 centimeters. And if anything goes there, we just put it back where it belongs. And we get to go to the salt flakes. So I love to use molten sea salt flakes, gorgeous, beautiful flakes. And I encourage you to add a little teeny tiny bit of salt to your desserts and experiment with the taste. Because I mean, molten sea salt also comes with smoky flakes. You can also find some lemon salt flakes, because lemon salt flakes on top of chocolate cake, it's magical. Last but not least, we're gonna go for some lemon zest. I have a beautiful tool. It looks kind of like a finger, so it has a thumb and fingers on top here that I like to say. But actually, it's very convenient, and you can use it to make gorgeous long strips from the lemon zest. You can also use a grater if you don't have one like I do. That's going to be good enough as well. And we have some star anise. I love to use those beautiful, gorgeous babies for decoration in Christmas time. And then you might use some cinnamon sticks. Just use one, break it, yep. And then you will have those small, beautiful tubes, and we're just gonna stick those in. So there we go, the cake is ready, nice and gorgeous, with some star anise bits and pieces over here, and we have some cinnamon sticks going on over there. And now it should go to the fridge to set for about 6 hours, or overnight, even better. And now I have one cake ready for you over here. So once it's set, you can fairly cut it into beautiful pieces. And thanks to the base that we added, the crumble base, it's very easy to move onto a perfect serving plate. I have a very nice helper, Mr. Big wooden spatula, or what do you call those things? You can write me in the comments. What do you call those big thingies? I have no idea. But anyway, basically, once you remove the cake from the tin, you want to go about having the cake tin in your hand and slightly pressing the base, and it will come loose beautifully. So no stress, you don't have to go around the edges or anything. You can help if you want, of course. But if you have made it the way I made it, then basically just pressing the cake tin from the below just a little bit will loosen the edges, and the cake is going to come loose from the cake tin, I think. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, and then once you have removed the base, just slide this big thingy underneath and slide the cake on a serving plate, just like that. So we are done. The nice chocolatey cake is ready. So we decorated with a bit of pecans, some lemon zest, some molten sea salt, and a bit of this and that. Works wonders. Super healthy, super simple Christmas dessert that you can make a day in advance. Will make your life so easy. If you have a friend that might use this simple recipe, share the link to them, click like if you like the video, and let me know in the comments how this turned out. How did you like the tastes? And did you adjust anything? So it's perfectly fine, and I would say the exact reason why I like to cook myself is that you always get to adjust the tastes. If you don't like pecans, swap it for another nut or another whatever you like. You can also use seeds. And I will now take a nice cup of warm coffee, my chocolate cake, dive into a soft couch, enjoy the gorgeous views of the snowy land that I get to see from the windows, and enjoy the wonderful Sunday that's going on here. So grateful that I got to spend this time with you here today. Thank you for cooking with me. If you like the video, if you like the channel, please subscribe so you would help to promote it. And I will see you soon. Sending you lots of love from here from Estonia, and see you in the next video soon enough. Ciao!